Welcome to this episode of the DJ Interview with your host, Harry the Big Dog.
What's up, everyone? That be me, Harry the Big Dog. This is the DJ Interview. How is everybody doing out there? Out in my neck of the woods, it was like 90 degrees today. It was a hot one. So, put in the chat who you are and where you are watching from. We'd love to know that. We'd love to hear who is out there and who is watching. We got multiple people on. We're streaming to multiple streaming platforms. I hope y'all read this description of this next DJ that I'm bringing up. I met him on a fluke. I was going out to Hawaii. I reached out to one of my other DJ boys. He reached out to him and we got connected. We was just rolling. We just clicked just like that, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome, DJ
Cheers.
Don Faumuina.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello. What's up, Harry? What up, big dog?
Aloha. What's going on?
It's going, it's 2 p.m. I know it's evening for like the rest of you.
The rest of America.
So it's safe to say y'all in the future. So we must be okay. We must be okay right now.
It is 8-ish Eastern time. It's 7-ish my time and 2-ish your time.
That's correct.
We got the Bronx in the house. What's going on? Eden Wall Projects. That's what that EWP mean. Eden Wall Projects. So let's just get this going because this is going to be so dope. I'm really going worldwide with this. Well, I think Hawaii is a part of the States though, right? Even though y'all are like 1,000 hours behind us.
Well, it is, and we'll have that discussion. Yeah, it is, and at the same time, it isn't.
So, okay. Question I asked all of my guests. We know your name already. How did you get started in this DJing game?
Oh, it's crazy. I feel so blessed that I get to meet so many awesome people, such as yourself, Harry, and so many people throughout my life. It's nothing fancy. It's just DJ Don Faumuina. It's my first and my last name. I went through a slew of, probably like with so many other DJs, they came up with. So I was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s. I'm an 80s child, right? And so you come up with all these different corny names and think it's super fly and dope. And then you realize, that was so cheesy. How is that going to work on a business perspective?
Donsky.
I was like, it was the DJ. I was the DJ extraordinaire, DJ D-double-E. So 80s, right? Like you
went there, double E.
DJ D-double-E, because my friends called me D, right? You know what I mean? And I'm sure you've heard that many times but yeah, so it was DJ D for a long time, and it was DJ D double E, and then when I got into the business and I focused more on weddings, I was trying to find a name where how do I make it where I'm more recognizable that will make me stand out from all the other DJ
Right.
cats out there, right? And like, I'll just use my name, So
Let's go original, right?
yeah, why not?
Oh man. So you said you grew up in the 70s, and this is how we clicked. We kind of
Yeah,
like play and love the same music,
for sure.
that
Yes.
whole disco and dance era. But going back,
Yeah, yeah.
how did you get into this DJ thing? What type of equipment did you have back in the day? I didn't even know people DJ'd in Hawaii. And I'm
Yeah,
sure a couple of people out here
it's funny because
don't know either.
we get the same question asked still to today. Like, y'all still live in grass huts? Or like, yeah, we do, man. We actually do.
Next to the pineapples, right?
Right next to the pineapple and the coconuts, and like, man, so stereotypical. But I so I grew up in the housing projects here. Believe it or not, there's certain places in Hawaii that's very. I grew up very poor, so my parents are immigrants from Samoa. And we moved here in the early '70s, and we had government assistance. And I say this a lot. I'm a product of the welfare system, and I
Mm,
because a lot of times I speak to our youth, our community out there. Particularly those that come from the same background that I grew up with, and so music for me was really, when you don't have much, you
yeah.
cling on to those things that you can have, that you feel that you can have and own, and you cherish it. And so, materialistically, I didn't have much, but then when I discovered music,
Mm,
particularly like hip hop and R&B, like, man, that was my saving grace. It helped me, as with so many people out there, get through so many hard times and hardship.
yeah.
And there was a time in my life where I was homeless for about 8 months.
Mm,
And because of the choices that I made. But in high school, uh, right when I was about 14, 15 years old, we started this group. There were like 8 of my buddies, and we rapped and we sang a cappella, we danced hip hop. Some of us were breakers, some of us were lockers, some of us were poppers. And so we
right.
entered this high school competition. It was a statewide competition where you would perform and compete in your own individual high schools, and then each winner will come together in the state final where they would televise on TV. It was like the
Hmm.
biggest thing in the '80s. It was called Brown Bags to Stardom. And so me and my boys, we go and we compete, and we get and then at the end of the night, it came down to like 3 different groups. So it was us, a singer, and a hula dancer. And so they're like, okay, so the top 2 is, and the dancer gets eliminated. It's just our group and then this hula dancer.
Hmm.
And then they announce the winner, and we lose to a hula dancer. I hate her to this day. I freaking hate her. No, she's cool. She's cool. We're still friends sometimes.
Sometimes y'all
But
lost to a hula dancer.
we lost to a hula dancer, which is really, really cool. But you know what, Harry, the crazy thing, and this is where, I always say this, and as I gone through, I'll be 52 in July, but as I've gone through my life, I've learned certain things where you find the lesson and the blessing in every
Yeah.
experience that you go through, right? And so the lesson behind this is, all right, Don, you're not all that. The blessing behind it is that one of the judges that was there worked
Hmm.
for Bose. He was the regional director for Bose. Bose, the speaker
Yeah.
company Bose. And so
Everybody
he
on here
came,
know bows.
yeah, right. And so he came and he approached us. He said, "Hey, I really like what you guys did. I just want to let you know that my wife sits on the Board of Education board, and we're looking for something where we want to go out and send a message." Back then, it was called the Just Say No program, which is now Dare.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like we were looking for something where we want to send a product out to let these kids know to say no to drugs and alcohol. Are you guys able to put together like a 45-minute show where you can rap, sing, and dance and do stuff about just saying no to drugs and different stuff? I was
Wow.
like, and we had no idea, and we all looked at each other, and of course, right? Yeah, we can do this. So like, okay, well, I need you guys to do like a short presentation or even like a quick performance for my wife's board. I'm gonna talk to her.
Right.
I'll bring you guys in and then do it. And if it goes through, we're actually gonna launch this next school year. But here's the thing: we're gonna pull you out of school so you can perform at all these schools, bro. I was like, dude,
Wow.
this I can't sit down for very long. The four walls for me in a traditional teaching environment is
Right.
not for me. I'm not that kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are some, but there's kids that got to get up and do stuff, and I don't know why the educational system still does it like this. It amazes me that we've gone from when we grew up. Everything has advanced. We got phones now that everything's mobile. We can talk to things from our wristwatch, cars, TVs. Everything has changed and has progressed, but the classroom still remains the same. I
Yeah.
find it very interesting, right? And so, sorry. Long story short, we put together this performance, and we got the okay, and then we started performing, and so we started going out and we started rap, and then that guy from Bose became our manager, and so he provided us with all the equipment, and so
Wow.
by our third show, Harry, I was like, hey man, so we're missing one single element that I think will bring this whole performance to the next level, but it'll bring everything together because it's a missing piece that we sorely need. And he was like, well, what's that? We need a DJ. He's like, well, do you
Mm.
know of one? I said, of course I do. He goes, who? Like me. I didn't know how to DJ, man. I always wanted to DJ though. You know what? I mean, it's all about Yo MTV raps and watching Fat Five Freddy and recording all of his stuff on my Betamax. You know what I mean?
You went
Recording
way
everything,
back
bro.
with the Betamax.
Way back, bro. But I did that, and then that was my way of actually getting my first piece of equipment. So it's so he's like, where do I get this? And he doesn't know that I knew, but I didn't know how I was gonna get it. And it's amazing when you put stuff out there, man, in the universe,
Yep.
stuff just comes back, And so,
We talked about that.
right, we did. And so we went out, and I was able to get my hands on my first set of 1200. It was a belt drive though back then. And then we eventually switched off and got the direct drive turntables, a
Mm.
realistic mixer from Radio Shack, and then a whole bunch of slew of records, man. So, yeah, that's how it started for me. I was 16 years old, man.
Now I want everybody to understand this. He's in Hawaii and went through a lot of the same stuff we did with the Radio Shack realistic. Put in
For
the
sure.
chat if you had one of them type mixes or
Yeah, for
or,
sure,
or
man.
the beginner Gemini mixer
Yep.
with the
Yep.
gem sound speakers.
That's right. The real
But oh
stiff ass
man.
crossfader. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
now you're official. Do you know how to DJ yet? You got the equipment. You know how to DJ yet?
I still didn't know how to DJ, man. I just made everything up. So I just started watching. I just like hours and hours of whatever I could get my hands on, just videos of like from again, like I said, Yo MTV raps. I'd listen to mixtapes, right? Because back then the only access we had, especially when you're stuck on an island, is
Right.
whatever we would hear on the radio. But then our stuff was always like either 6 to 8 months back, even if it was radio. And then the other way we get access is if we had friends or relatives that actually would come from the States and bring their own mixtapes. And that's how we had access
Wow.
to it. Right. And so I didn't know any other DJs in the community. I would actually go out, but you learn. And unfortunately, sometimes it's still there, not as much as before, but a lot of DJs kind of just kept to their own because they didn't want to share. And so for
Mm.
a long time, I was by myself. So
Now, how did you guys get records being in the middle of the ocean nowhere?
yeah, so there was actually a record pool store here. There was just one. It was right in the middle of Waikiki, and everyone went to that store. And so I was one of my friends knew this DJ. He had a buddy that actually worked at the radio station, which
Hmm.
which we hooked up together, and then he kind of opened the world for me of like where to get equipment, where to get records, and he hooked me up with all these different contacts on, just from radio DJs to club DJs to mobile DJs. And so
Mm,
there was this one radio store right in Waikiki, really small shop, and that was the place where we got our records. And so, but everything was right because 90% of all our products and goods are all shipped in. So we
right.
would have to wait, and sometimes would wait like a month just for the shipment to come in, and
Mm.
then whatever it costs for you guys out there, maybe you double or triple price that here in Hawaii, and that's what we had to
Ooh-wee.
spend, man. Yeah,
I
crazy,
know you
man,
guys appreciate the
crazy.
new technology now.
It took me a while though to convert over from analog to digital. Yeah, I
Mm.
was still one of those old school heads that was like, nope, nope, I ain't doing it, nope. And then my back got sore after
Uh,
carrying a whole bunch of records. I like, oh, maybe I should transition and
maybe
see
you
how this
should.
works. Yeah, yeah,
So now, I'm assuming you eventually start learning how to DJ.
yeah, yeah.
What was the music that you guys were playing out there? Was it the hip hop from the States, or what was it?
Yeah, pretty much whatever we could get our hands on. But a lot of island music, reggae and country is very highly influenced here in Hawaii
Hmm.
or here in South Pacific, in the Pacific region. But of course, hip hop and R&B, whatever we could get our hands on, whatever was on the radio, whatever I could get stuff from my cousins. I had a whole bunch of relatives that came from Carson and Compton. So whenever they would come over, I'd call them and beg them, hey man, bring whatever you got. I'll pay for it. I don't know how, but I'm gonna go jack somebody and I'm gonna get you some money. But just give me some mixtape, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh man, that's so that's the so
yeah.
y'all got exposed to the West Coast music more first.
Yeah, because it was so much closer to us,
Yeah.
right? As opposed to, and I didn't know stuff about East Coast not till way later, or when whomever I would meet or come over, right, or
Hmm.
whatever was exposed to via media, whether it be radio or even on TV.
Now,
So
did a
like
lot of go ahead.
yeah, like Fab Five Freddy, Yo MTV Raps was like one of the only access we had for like any East Coast anything, just
Wow.
period, because we're so confined to an island.
Now, now did I forgot the question I was going to
Oh,
ask.
sorry.
The mind just drew a blank.
Yeah,
Ooh, that happens all the time. So I'm over 50, so
I
I
get
got
it,
an
man.
excuse.
I get it. But yeah, from analog, then eventually, did the CDs, right? Because I had the turntables with the
Hmm.
cassette tapes, right? And then went from CDs, and it even started off with, I think Stanton came out with their version of I think it was Final Scratch, right? And then of course everyone transitioned over to Serato
Yeah.
eventually once that came out. But I remember early in the beginning, yeah, yeah,
So
Final
now,
Scratch, crazy.
uh, I, I got what I was going to say. How many other DJs out there? Because Hawaii, especially in the when I went down there
Yeah,
a couple of months ago and met you for the first time, I
yeah,
was we was right across the street from Waikiki Beach.
yep.
How many DJs were out there back in the day? Because it's a lot of people. People don't realize how many people is in just your island.
Yeah, believe it or not, there's approximately like 1.2 million people that live in the state of Hawaii.
Hmm.
And then you add all the tourism that comes in, and
Yeah.
then you can imagine how many more people are there. But on the island that I live on here on Oahu, majority of the population lives here. So we're looking at about probably 900,000 people on this island. And
Wow.
so, in terms of DJs, there were a whole bunch of DJs out there, but everybody kind of just did their own thing, right? So you
Okay.
had from those that did stuff on the radio, the club DJs, and your mobile DJs, and those that kind of did a crossover and stuff. And like I said, I didn't know many of them, so a lot of them I met through other people eventually. But for, I want to say that maybe the first 10 years, like I kind of just did stuff on my own. Like maybe I
Wow.
knew one or two people, but other than that, I just kind of did stuff on my own. Yeah,
Did
and most of
did
my DJ career was pretty much just mobile. I did clubs
okay.
maybe every once in a while, but mostly just mobile. Only because like I so because I grew up poor, um, I the mindset that I had was, how do I make the most monies, effectively, uh, and not trying to burn myself out.
Right.
And so I would talk to like a buddy of mine that did club, very famous. He was on the radio too, very popular, and I saw how much he got paid. And then I met another cat that was doing mobile DJ stuff, and I saw how much he got paid. And I was like, there's a significant difference between the two. I think I'm gonna hit the mobile side. I don't care. I don't care about being famous. I care about feeding my family. That's
For
actually what it was
real.
for me. For real. That's what it was for me. Yeah.
So I know we talked about what the DJs make over there and what you make. Can
Yeah.
you give the people out here just a general feel of what they possibly can make as a DJ out there?
Yeah, it just kind of depends. So, like, I'll be very transparent with you, Harry. So, like, my services, because I'm a mobile DJ, and
Hmm.
my specific niche market is weddings because it's lucrative for me. I officiate, so I'm an officiant, right? So I marry them, and then I MC, and then I DJ, right? And my highest package is $4,500,
Mm,
right? And so, you know, sometimes some DJs, as I share this with them, a lot of them may think like, "Oh man, you're ripping them off." I said, "Well, it just depends on how you're looking at it, right?"
uh-huh.
On the business side, it's like, what other vendor, and I'm referring to wedding or maybe even any party, because you go to any event, there's really only two things people talk about. It's either it's the entertainment and the food.
Yep.
And because of the entertainment and the food, it's either really, really good or it sucks.
Mm,
And as a DJ that does weddings, you got only one shot to get this right.
yes.
That's a lot of pressure, right? And a lot of these people, and I'm talking referring more to the females, like they think about that day when they're like this high. Males, we think about it when we're like, I think this is the one. So we
Yeah.
don't think about that. So a lot
Every
of time it's
weekend.
right. And so a lot of times it's geared more towards the bride, and most of the time, very seldom it's the groom, but most of the time it's the bride. And why would you want to put one of the most important days of your life, put it to chance on someone that charges a certain amount? If you know them, awesome. If you don't, one of the things I always say is, I do Neiman Marcus weddings, I don't do Walmart. You
Right.
deserve Neiman Marcus.
Right.
Walmart is for everybody else. And there are people out there that just want those type of weddings. That's not my clientele. That's not right. And I
Mm,
think the biggest thing for me is DJs, when it comes to business, from in my experience, DJs are really good at their craft. What they really suck at is business.
yeah. I know I did for a long
Me
time.
too. Me too, man. Me too. I'm guilty. I say that because I speak about myself,
Yeah.
right? But the reality is, you learn things, but the moment you start to shift your mindset, learning how to do business, then you look at it from a perspective, and it's not a space of you trying to be greedy.
Right.
It's a space of you saying, how much are you worth? This is
Hmm.
27 years of doing this stuff, right? But at the same time, I hear a lot of DJs saying, well, I got 20 years of experience. Well, tell me what you did different last year, right? Because if you did everything the same the last 19 years, then you really have 1 year of experience doing the same stuff 19 years in a row. There's a significant difference. How are
Ah,
you bettering yourself so that you can provide a product that will make it better, that will give them an experience? Because that's what you sell. You sell experience. You don't sell music. You don't sell equipment. I find it very interesting that DJs will sit down and talk to people and say, well, here's what I can do for you. Like, how many people? Oh, 200. Okay, so we're gonna bring these EV50 speakers, and I run a Rev 7 controller, and I bring these global lighting and all of this. That's all Chinese to the people you're talking to. They have
Right.
no idea.
They have no idea.
They have no idea, bro. Right? It's like you hiring a carpenter, and the carpenter is telling you, like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna bring this Nimbus 2000 drill, and I think it's gonna be super dope." I was like, "Look, I'm hiring you to drill a hole. I don't know what you use,
That's I
but
don't
get it
know
done.
what.
Get it done." You know what I
Ah,
mean? So I always say that. Look, sell the experience. Don't sell equipment. Don't devalue yourself. At least that's just for me. If it is for you, by
yeah.
all means. But this is what's worked for me, and I've done like 40 to 50 weddings a year without a website, word of mouth. So it
Word of
works
mouth.
for me.
Yeah.
It works for me. Do it however you want, right? So
And coming from even from me, it's just hard to believe that 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 price range you're in.
yeah,
That is, the famous DJ price range. Not the highest, but the famous DJ price ranges that you're talking about, that $4,000 to $5,000
yeah,
per event, and you're doing 50 to 60 of them per year.
yeah. And full disclosure, Harry, I don't do all of them at that price.
Right.
Sometimes they just hire me just to be their DJ and their MC. So I'll charge 3,000
Hmm.
straight up, right? But I'm still making enough money where I'm
Yes.
comfortable. Well, I feel that it's worth my time. I've done. If my wife was here, she would tell you, like, in the beginning, I would go out, be out for 12, 14 hours, and get paid $250. And then I would come home, and she
Then
would
she'd
tell
look
me,
at you funny.
yeah, yes, bro. And then she would tell me, like, why are you going out? It's not worth your time. What are you doing?
Hmm.
But because I realized I felt I wasn't worth it. That was the key for me,
Yeah.
right?
And understand, everybody, where he lives is mad expensive.
Yeah.
I was just out there
It's super
and
expensive.
I
It's
had to
super
leave
expensive.
before I went broke.
No, for real. Like, yeah. And a lot of the locals are moving out because they get priced out of paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel
So it
very
is
blessed.
expensive. It is a
It
different
is. It
price
is.
range from like being in New York or being in Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit is not as expensive as a New York, as a
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Right.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Now,
Crazy.
does the scene out there for you, like bringing in artists, bringing in even important other DJs into Hawaii? What's that like?
Yeah. Many of these, I've talked to some of my really good buddies that are promoters that come in, and of course the price ranges differentiate in terms of what the value each DJ or even MC comes in with.
Right.
Um, it just depends on the venue and the demand of that specific artist. But we have a lot, like, just I think last week I just saw one of my DJ buddies just did a private event for Snoop Dogg. He was just here. I think he's still here. Yeah, he's
Wow.
still here. But like he called me out, like, "Hey, man, guess where I'm at?" I was like, "Where you at, man?" Like, "I'm at Kohler Ranch. Guess who I'm DJing for?" I'm like, "Who, man?" He's like, "Snoop Dogg." I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm pulling up, coming over to your gig. I'm gonna come and hold some of your speakers, dog."
Yeah.
But I mean, like, super
Carry the
cool.
thumb drive.
Yeah, it's but it just varies. But Hawaii's a destination state.
Yeah.
You talk about Hawaii, people will often say two things: either they've been there or they've always wanted to come here.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, which is really, really cool. Yeah,
Yeah. I had that chance, and I just took it.
yeah, man.
It was just a fluke, and then I got to meet you
How
out
crazy
there.
was that, right, bro? How
Yo,
crazy was that, man? I know you talked about it earlier, but
yeah,
but I think that's the beauty of when you have people with the same mindset that have the same values. I mean, it is no coincidence that all the stars aligned. And
yeah.
right, shout
And
out
you
to a
were
boy.
available and
I
came and
know,
picked me up.
of course, I picked you up every single time, man. I was like, "Hey, what
Well,
what you doing, man?" Pick
What are
me
you
up,
doing? Let's
man.
go eat. Let's
Let's
go
go, man.
here. Let's go there.
Everything we had to do, they had to have food. That's just how
Yep.
we do it here, man. Yeah. Food and music is what brings people together.
Oh man, it was just so dope to be out there. Now the um man, I just lost it again. I'm just like
No,
so amped you're here, and I'm used to seeing you in person.
I know, right? Maybe you should
Oh,
share like the first place where we ate. Was it the first restaurant where we went? What's the name of that one place that we went? I said, "Hey, I'm gonna take you to this place. It's a place where all
so,
DJs should go and
some
eat."
scratch kitchen.
It was called Scratch Kitchen. Yes,
Yes. Yo, that
that's
burger
right,
was
man.
dope.
Yeah, so good, man.
That
Yep.
burger was so
So
dope.
any of your viewers, when you come to Hawaii, hit me up. We'll go to Scratch
Yeah.
Kitchen and we'll go to Zippy's. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, we went to Zippy's too. Zippy's is one of the main
Or
spots. And,
maybe you
oh
want to
man,
explain what Zippy's is to some of
if
your viewers. Yeah.
if you like spam, which I like,
But it's funny
Zip,
though because a lot of people don't like. Maybe now because of social media, exposing what spam is. Because
yeah,
Hawaii is the highest, most consumption of spam in the world,
mhm.
or at least in the nation. Right? We love our spam. It's dubbed as the
Everybody
Hawaiian
who don't
steak.
want to hear, they just put it on a ship and send it to y'all.
But y'all don't know. You don't eat it straight out of the can. You cook that thing, man. You cook it, and it's dope on a rope. Y'all just
Yep.
don't even know.
Now, I still forgot what I wanted, but the native music, you
Yeah,
touched on that earlier. You said it had a reggae
the country vibe. Yeah,
country vibe to it.
yeah, yes.
Now, where did that come from?
So you go back in history. So Hawaii at its very infant stages when sugarcane and pineapple was being imported out to literally throughout the world, they had to bring in people to work the fields. So a lot of Chinese, Filipinos, Japanese immigrants that came over to Hawaii brought their own culture, and then at one point, the Mexicans came over because our Hawaiian cowboys didn't know how to ranch, so they brought the Mexicans over,
Right.
right? And along with that, they brought their culture and their music. Eventually, like um, reggae again, because it has that island vibe that just fit very, very well in our culture, right? And then you bring country in, and it was a mixture of both, and so it was dubbed Hawaiian reggae, and they called it Jawaiian, right?
Mm.
So it was Hawaiian reggae, and so a lot of stuff. So I'm not sure how many of your viewers. I see Robin. Yuck to spam. Don't knock it till you try it, Robin.
You
Don't knock
didn't
it
you
till you
didn't get
try
to
it.
meet her. You didn't get to meet her while we was out there.
Yeah, Robin. But we will though. We will definitely.
Yes, one day.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, so like this year's American Idol, right? The winner is a local kid here that is from the North Shore, but
Okay.
he gave the nation a taste of what our island music was like. So there's a song that he sang by this Polynesian artist called "Don't Let Go." That's just a snippet, and then he did Lionel Richie's "Stuck on You." So his
Hmm.
version that he did is a snippet of a local version that was done by a group in Maui. And so yeah, you listen to it, it's really just the island vibe style music, very popular here in Polynesia, and it actually is branching out. More and more people are listening to it. Yeah, yeah. So think UB40, but just more on an island level. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So where did the country part come from? I understand that the reggae part, but was that more than reggae, or they were kind of neck and neck, or
It was, like you had. So I remember, like my mom. There was like in the '70s, like um what's his name? Kenny Rogers, right? Dolly Parton,
you gotta know when to
Ch-
hold them?
know when to fold them. Yeah, know when to walk away, know when to run. Johnny Cash, I don't know, like it was very popular amongst the older generation, like my parents and my grand. They love country music. I guess it's just more just laid back kind of stuff
Hmm.
that they like, and then it eventually grew up on the younger generation, and then they took it and they put a spin on it, which is why you have your island music now. So in fact, a
Right.
lot of those songs that I grew up with learning and came to love, I didn't realize it was country music. I didn't know that until I actually heard the original version. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where it came from, and that's where the love of country music for a lot of local people here came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I listened to
Country
a
music
couple
though,
of,
it's hit and miss though. Some people they
yeah.
either like it or they don't. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Jason is saying straight history.
yeah. What's up, Jason? Aloha.
So, Jason, you just messed me up now. I would have forgot the question again. No, I was listening to the radio stations out there,
Yeah,
and I listened to a couple of them, and they all have a little different flavor
yeah.
to them. I know they got some hip hop station out there, hip hop and
Right,
R&B station out
right,
there,
right.
and I kind of locked on to that because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah, I bet
But
you just laughed. You hear our stations here, like
yeah,
this. The local term for us is this is so bubblegum. Like, what the hell is this, man? Come on. I get that a lot. So a lot of my, my DJ buddies when they come in, most of them are from the West Coast, and when they come to islands, they're like, "Hey, man, your hip hop stations here." I said, "I know, man. Shut up, man. I know. All right, so I know. Here, listen to this. This is more our island station. Oh, okay, I like this because you can listen to that stuff when you go back home. But listen to this.
yeah. Just
Yeah, yeah.
listen
No,
to
I get it,
this.
man. I get it.
I
Yeah,
did switch to the other stations, and it's got that type of vibe, like just sitting at the beach all day.
yeah. That's pretty
That
much it.
that laid back. I
It
don't
is.
I haven't heard any real Hawaiian music that we know from like Hawaii 5 O or any other
Yeah.
one that that
There's
emulated Don Ho.
yeah, and like a lot of the Don Ho stuff is what we call more tourist music. Um, and so you talk to any local person, and I can almost guarantee that Don Ho is not on their playlist. Straight up, straight up, man.
That's just for here.
That's just for
Stateside.
Waikiki and the tourist people that come in that like that cheesy ass stuff. Um, but there are local artists here that actually sing more traditional stuff. So, for example, like Israel Kamakawiwa Ole is right, really big Hawaiian guy, very famous. So that's kind of more his style. You'll hear a lot of local people play his stuff because that's more closer to who we are as a people. Don Ho did it because he was the iconic figure in Hawaii for all the people that kind of helped put Hawaii on the map.
Yeah.
For better and for worse. Just
Mm.
depends who you talk to. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when I was there a couple of months back, right now, for those who are listening, we're in June of 2020. I was there and met Don in April, 2023,
Three.
excuse me.
Yes. Yeah.
I met Don in April of 2023, and
Has it been
it
April?
was it was kind of
Dang.
crowded out there. The
Yeah.
weather is just beautiful
Crazy.
all day, all night.
Yeah. Did
Is
did
it
we go sight?
always
We
like
went.
that?
Didn't we go sightseeing? I took you like
Yeah,
to
we
all the
went
different
we went
sites, right? We
sightseeing.
did,
We
right?
went to a
That's right.
couple
I
of
forgot,
different
man.
places. Yeah. We drove around someplace we couldn't get to the other side of the island because of
Yeah,
that
because of the
traffic
traffic.
jam.
Yeah, they had that stuff, right? And that's the cons of living on an island, right? So you're
Yeah.
stuck on one side, like,
You
dang, I
stuck.
gotta turn around. It's gonna be like an hour and a half just to get someplace where I can get there in 20 minutes. Yeah,
Even taking a long way, you could do in 20
yeah.
minutes.
Which is why we always say, like, even for me, like at work, I can tell when just by the way people drive, I know that they're not from here.
Mm-hmm.
because they're always in a rush, right? And I always say, you're in Hawaii, man. Chill out, relax. Yeah,
Bro,
like
they must have been
just
all on the
relax.
highway
Yeah,
because they were speeding, and I'm don't know where I'm going, headed to the airport or headed to somewhere, just going while I'm looking, and they was just,
yeah.
and the
Yep.
speed limit is 45.
Yeah,
Like, yo, where you
everything's slow
going?
here, man. Everything's slow here. Yeah. That's one of the biggest complaints I hear from people visiting. Like, man, your speed limit, it sucks here. I said, yeah, that's because you're on an island. Relax, shut up.
Yeah,
I
where are
get
you
it though. I
going?
get it. I get
You
it,
don't have
man.
to drive 4 hours to get
No.
nowhere,
For
unless you
you
get stuck in the traffic jam.
and it's funny because when I come up and I visit and I come to the continent, like, man, that's my playground because I can go at least 80 plus, man. I'm so happy. I get to go fast. My
Oh,
wife
so
hates it.
let's talk about your other career.
Yeah.
Let everybody know what you are.
Oh, yeah. So, like, for the past 23 years, I've been a male dancer. No,
He's the silver stripper.
I am, but for little people. Sorry, man. Sorry. Sorry,
Good.
man.
You had to let that one, right?
Oh man, sorry. So I've been blessed to be a police officer with the Honolulu Police Department for the last 23 years. So it's been a great
Now,
ride, and we're still going, man. Uncle Wood, and still get to come home every night, or at least every
yes.
morning. Yeah,
Yes. Now you took me when we were there, you took me down to y'all's Chinatown, and I'm like, they got a Chinatown everywhere.
everywhere, everywhere. There's a
It don't
Chinatown,
matter where you are, there's a
bro.
Chinatown.
Man, you should know already, man. The Chinese just the master race, man. These fools be taking over.
And you was telling me, you know, it's not like this. We drove in the daytime. It's like, yo,
Yeah,
it's not like this at night.
yeah. That's because there's people around. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's it like being law enforcement in a place where you have a lot of I'd say foreigners coming in, including us from the states, that come
Yeah.
in and think they can do anything.
Yeah, policing now compared to like 20 years ago when I got in, very different. I think part of the fact is what's been happening more on where you guys are and the way. See, I maybe we were really naive in terms of how we did stuff here. I
Hmm.
think what separates us from so many other police departments is we have this thing called the aloha spirit. So we tend to treat people like as if you're our family, right? Now I say this, and at the same time, not all of us, because in every profession, in everything that you do, there's always that small percentage that will f it up for everybody else. Sorry, I'm gonna
Yes.
making sure that I don't say things,
Yeah.
right, that
Thank
messes
you.
it up
This is
for
a
every,
family show.
yeah, for everybody else, right? And so, like, I get, even within our department, there are people that I would rather not work with. Like, I'll never
Right.
break bread with them, but I'll work with them because it's a job. But you'll never see me hang out with them because their attitude sucks,
Mm.
right? But I think a lot of things that have happened out in the continent on the state side, right? Trayvon Martin and all of that, and the way that law enforcement, how they do their policing there. Again, not everybody, but just the stuff
Hmm.
that's going around, and then how it's sensationalized on social media. It makes it a lot tougher for us to do our job here. So in terms of recruitment and retention, like so when I graduated in 2000 from the police academy, we started off with, I think, I want to say 70 recruits, and we graduated with like 56. We
Wow.
just we just had a graduation last week, Thursday, and they graduated with 12.
Wow.
That is um, how much influence and how many people that actually sign up to want to come and do this job. Now, there's hundreds of people that try. This class, I think, when the recruit class came in, it's a 6.5 month training. I think
Hmm.
they started off with like a little over 20, and they whittled it down to only 12, which is crazy. And that's the
Yeah.
amount of officers that's been graduating on an average for us the last 2 years.
Wow.
But in terms of dealing with people that come in from the outside thinking they can do whatever, laws are laws and they're there for a certain reason. Many
Mm-hmm.
times, so like I always say this: I'm the cop you want to get pulled over by, because I and we talked about this, Harry. And the
Yes.
reason why, for me, is I don't know what your story is. I don't know what you just went through. So there must be a specific reason, unless you're a jerk, that you're doing what you're not supposed to be doing, and in the purview of the laws and where I got to do my job.
Yeah.
So almost every time I pull somebody over, the mindset for me is to say, I'm going to give this person a break until the moment they give me a reason not to.
Uh, and hopefully that ratio is low, right?
It is low, but speak in terms of racial. You want to guess which group, and I'm referring to more males and females. Which group gives me, in my experience, gives me a harder time when I pull them over? Do you think male or female?
Male.
It's actually females.
Wow. That give you a hard time?
Bruh, let me tell you this one story. I share this story because it's one of my favorites. So
Mm-hmm.
I work the graveyard shift. So I start at 10 at night and I get off at 7 in the morning. By the way, Michelle Jimenez is actually one of my moderators on my Twitch side, and she's here. So hi, Michelle.
Hey,
So
Michelle, how you doing
love you,
today?
chokes. Hi, Michelle. So that word she's using, us, is a slang for, in Samoan. Uso means brother in Samoan. So
Okay,
us is just a slang word for, like, it's like you saying bro.
bro.
So yeah. So she's teasing me. Yeah. But yeah, one night I was working and I was at a stoplight and my light went green, and I have this habit of always looking before I even drive off. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I'll like look on the opposite side just in case, especially because I work late at night. You don't
Yeah,
know, a drunk driver might run a red light. So like as I always do, because we're creatures of habit.
right.
Light turns green. I'm at work, so I'm in work mode, and I look to my left, and sure enough, this car goes zooming right past me.
Mm,
Red light, red light. And as this driver is zooming past me, I can see she's on her phone,
mm.
right? Because the phone lit, right? You can see it. It's
Yeah,
dark, right?
because it's
So I'm
dark,
like,
yeah.
right. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she runs the red light, and she's on her phone. So I go over and I pull her over. Right, call off on the traffic stop. I get up there, and and it's like what you see on like videos. And I get up, it's like, hey, my name is Officer Don. I'm with HPD, right, Honolulu Police Department. And the reason why I pulled you over, and that's normally the spiel that law enforcement will give. So I walk up to her car and I'm like, hey, my name is Officer. Like, why you pulled me over for? I didn't even get to finish my spiel, bro. She gave me the flat tire response. You know what the flat tire response is?
Uh,
Why you pull me over for? Right?
oh
And so I'm like,
man.
oh, this is interesting. Right? So now immediately I'm thinking, all right, so this is gonna go two ways, and I think I know where this one is going.
Mm.
Right? So full disclosure, I'm lazy, bro. I don't want to write. So if I gotta write a citation, you're done.
Yeah.
All right. So she's like, why are you pulling me over for? Total attitude, bro. Total attitude. Right. And so I'm like, look, the reason why I pulled you over is, I'm not sure if you realize you ran that red light and then you're on your cell phone. Like, I wasn't on my cell phone. I said, I could see you with your phone because your phone thing was on. It was lit. You had it in your left hand. I actually knew what hand you had it with because you were driving with your right hand. And very argumentative. Just
Mm.
started arguing and yelling, and so I asked, "Where are you coming from tonight? Why you got to know for?"
Mm.
Ooh, I said, "Oh,
Wow.
okay, it's on." So I'm not sure how it's done wherever you guys are, but just FYI, if a law enforcement officer asks you for your documentation,
Hmm.
license, registration, insurance, and then if he or she does this, which is what I did right after that, I asked for her stuff. and I walked around her car. If you see that happens, you're dead, bro. Not in literal sense you're dead. You're
Right.
dead meaning you know what they're doing? Do you guess what? Do you know what they're doing when they walk around their car?
What? Looking for something.
They're going to find every single infraction on your vehicle and they're going to cite you for it. Right?
Because you wanted to be one of them type of people.
She wanted to play. She wanted to play. So we're going to play. Right? So I walk around her vehicle and then I leave and then I come back and 8 citations later, she starts crying. Right, Jason? Yes, yeah. That's it. If it was expired, I would have told it. I would have totally told it, bro. Yeah. So I said, okay, so here's your citation, and here's what I'm citing you for. I cited you for this. I kept going. Right, and then it shows how much it costs. And then the last one was a court appearance. Now she has to go to court. Right, and of course, so there's normally a typical cycle that I see in my experience of drivers such as this that usually gives a lot of attitude. First of all, it's a lot of attitude and anger and argumentative, right? And be very defensive. And then the insults come, right? You know, let me speak to your supervisor. Like, no, I'm not going to call my supervisor. Well, why not? Because they don't need it. Because all you're going to do is yell at my supervisor, and he's not going to be very happy. So no.
He's going to look around the car too to see what you missed.
Right. And so, but at the same time, all of this is being recorded on my body camera.
Right.
So everything, our interaction, everything is on there. So if there is a complaint, all they do is defer to the body cam. Right. And so I know it's on, but at the same time, like I've been around a long time where I'm not going to I'm no punk. I'm no chump. So if you're going to swear at me, I'm going to swear right back at you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're not going to treat me otherwise. So if you want respect is earned, not given. But so she starts to go through all of that, and then the cycle continues where now she starts to cry. Right? I'm having a bad night, this and that. I was like, okay, well, you know,
it just got worse.
Sure. Yeah, I said, well, I'm not sure if I'm sorry you're having a bad night because that's not my choice. But if all you could have said was, yeah, you know, if you never gave me attitude, you wouldn't have these citations. I would have let you go. But here we are. So do you want to? He can sign here. It's not an admission of guilt. All is saying that you received this. And then back to anger. F you. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm not signing nothing.
Yeah. Okay, you don't have to sign it, but here's your ticket. Right? So. But most of the time, it's women. I don't know why, Harry. Wow. It's mostly guys are funny. Guys are funny. Like I just pulled over this guy last night. He had his lights off. Went over, pulled him over. I was like, "Hey, how's it, bro? My name is Don. I'm with HPD. The reason why I'm pulling you over, bro, is your lights are off." He goes, "Oh, hey, this guy's hilarious. Typical local guy." He's like, "Oh, officer, I'm so sorry, bro." I said, "You're not gonna believe this story, but here's why I was driving without my lights on. I was running away from my girlfriend. She's too much." I was like, sounds like you have more issues than me pulling you over, bro. Turn your lights on. Have a great night. I'll see you later. Thank you so much, officer. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. So now getting back to the DJ thing.
Yes.
How does your day job, you know, go up against your part-time job?
Yeah. I get that question a lot. So because I work the graveyard shift, it allows me to do my weddings. And then I start at 10 at night. But if like last week, I had a wedding and it was done at 10 p.m. All I do is just take the first 2 hours comp time. And then I show up for work after that. Right. And so in Hawaii, we have a subsidized program where our own personal vehicles are our police car. So my Forerunner is my actual police car. So I just put my light on, put my uniform on, my siren's already installed, and then I just test out, and I'm at work. Yeah. So it works out for me.
I was in that car, everybody.
Yes, you were. In the front.
In the front. I wasn't in the back.
In the front, dog.
Oh, we didn't turn on no lights or anything,
No,
or hit the whoop whoop.
we could have, but we didn't.
Oh man, yes, Jason,
Jason,
hilarious.
I know, Jason, I know. But and it's funny because for me, the DJ side doing weddings is really my outlet. That's where, like, because I go to work, right? The joke is we're not firefighters. No one comes up to us and tells us thank you. We're not
Right.
the firefighters, right? So every night is a crisis whenever I go to a call, right? And so
Mm,
for so many cops, they take that don't have an outlet, and it builds up inside, and then they go home and they fight with their spouse, right?
yeah.
Or they take it out on their family. Whereas I'll come and I'll do a wedding and I dump all that rubbish because I get to have fun on this side,
Yeah.
right? Like, right, there's a quote that I often use: it in all things there must needs be balance. So there has to have balance in everything. You can't have just all of one. That's when it's not good, right? So moderation, but both sides. It's my DJ side, the fun side; work side, my serious but fun and stressful side. But it balances out for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shout out to DJ Tony Crush,
Tony
who's
Crush,
checking
aloha,
in.
salute. Yeah.
So now what's coming up? What's going on now? And what's coming up? I know you're just getting ready to get into the wedding season, and you were
Yeah.
telling me sometime you have two or three, maybe four in a weekend.
Yeah, it just depends. So, like,
Yeah.
wedding, it's funny because some of the DJs will ask me, "Hey, when's wedding season for you?" And my answer is yes,
All year.
all year. But yeah, peak season for me starts in May till about September. So
Hmm.
between them is really where where I'm doing a whole bunch of gigs. It's been crazy because April, no, just recently, and then in, like, this month I'm scheduled 18 events. I have 18 weddings this week. This
Wow.
month. Crazy. Yeah, super crazy.
This month being June of
June.
2023.
Yeah, June. Yep. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel so blessed. Like, again, just so blessed. Like, I get to do this, and just being able to provide and for my family, and just, yeah. So just weddings coming up, on my Twitch side. Once a year I do a Twitch gathering. This is a Twitch meetup, and this is the craziest part, Harry, is people come in from all different places to do a Hawaii meetup, and for 5 days, bro, I do a whole bunch of things with them. So it's a Twitch meetup, that we've done. This is my third year. So it started off 3 years ago, is when I turned 50. Well, yeah. And then I had some people I invited that flew in, mainly from the West Coast, and we had about 30 DJs show up and their families. It was crazy. And then last year we did it and we had about 75 people show up. This year we're
Yeah.
looking at a little bit over 100. And so from July 13th to the 18th, one of my DJ buddies actually said, "You know what? Rather than calling this a Twitch meetup, you should call it Don Con." So
Don Con.
so
Yeah.
so
That's
it's so
dope.
it's so it's Don Con 2023, July 13th to the 18th. And the Thursday night is actually just kind of like a meet and greet at one of our at this one spot where two of our DJ buddies spins at, and we just get
Hmm.
together. Friday, I book a tour bus and we do a foodie tour around the island. So I give them a perspective from the local side. I give them a local views perspective. So
Yeah.
you see the tourist stuff, but I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
the stuff where all the
You
locals
you
go.
took me to that one of
Where
the
it's
areas where y'all hang out, not Waikiki Beach.
correct. Yep. Right. And so I give them that. And of course, it always involves food. And then Friday night we're gonna go bowling at this one place where we have a couple of our DJs that will be spinning. So we'll do that Friday
Nice.
night. Saturday night it's at Mai Tais, and I've got a lineup of all these DJs that's gonna do like a 30-minute set. That's always the toughest part, is getting like 8, 10, 11 DJs, having them do a set. And it's hard because they're feeling it and they're vibing, and their
Hmm.
30 minutes come up, and before you know it's 45 minutes. And you're like, "Hey man, I love you, bro, but you got to get off, man, like, because that guy got to come on too as well." You know what I mean? But it's hard. I mean, I get it. I understand. So Sunday of just a whole bunch of different things, and then Monday it's a beach day all day. We'll be at the beach. I'm actually gonna set up a rig and we're gonna DJ and just barbecue and have fun. So we're doing a whole bunch of activities in July. So
That's dope.
yeah, yeah,
Count me in for
bro.
2024
Yes,
at
sir.
Don Con.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir.
I'll bring.
Yep.
Tony Crush said we could play.
Let's do it, Tony. Come on over, Tony. Come on over, man. And Harry knows this, man. I live 2 minutes away from the airport, man. I'm gonna pick you up, bro.
For
I
real.
got you, brother. I got you, man.
I was talking to Tony when I was down there about possibly, getting out there, but we'll talk about that offline. Everybody
For
don't
sure.
need to know this.
For sure, man. Yep. You know how I am, brother. You let me know, man.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, man, this is just so dope. I want to thank you for coming on and blessing the stage.
Thank you for the opportunity.
It's only about little after 3:00 there.
Yeah.
you still
I
got,
still got the rest of the day, man.
Yeah.
I get to go to the beach after this, yo. So.
Yeah. Where I am, it's still light outside. I know in the East Coast, it's probably dark already.
Dark already, right? It's like 8. It's 8 p.m. 9, in fact. Sorry, 9. Right.
Oh man, any shout outs you want to give?
Oh, shoes. Really just shout out to you and the beautiful better half, bro, that I haven't met yet.
That you haven't met yet.
Which I will. Shout out to my mod, Michelle, who's here earlier, and then Jason, man. Looking forward to meeting you, Jason, for real.
Yeah, that's one of my partners right there.
Yeah. And then anybody out there that will watch this in the future, you let me know how I can help you. You guys come to Hawaii, look me up. If you need my phone number, it's 911. Just call me up, man. I got you. Just call me up. No.
Michelle is saying she cannot wait to see you in July.
Yes. Yep. So all my mods come down, and we just have a whole bunch of fun, man.
That is just so dope, bro.
Yeah. I feel so blessed. Yeah. I think the most craziest part for me was just seeing my name on something again. Mm-hmm. Somebody that grew up very poor, never thought of anything. Like, I never even thought of myself at any status. Right. And then seeing something like that, like my name on a shirt, because it goes so deep for me, right? So my father died in a fire accident that tried saving 6 members of our family, and
wow,
he did his best, but was killed in the fire, right? So 7 of them died, and I see my name, the Faumuina name, and it carries a lot of weight for me because that's my legacy. That's my dad.
Yeah.
And that's all my forefathers that came before me, and so I see that, on my hat and on the shirts. And I always say to myself, it's a reminder for me that it's a responsibility to keep that legacy in the best light possible.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Man.
I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man. As with anything, if there's anything I can do, man, you already know. Let me know, man. You let me know.
Yes, we will connect again in real life.
Yes, sir.
Probably next year.
Sounds good to me.
Got a lot of things going on. This 50th anniversary. Oh, speaking
bring
of that.
Jason over. Bring Jason over.
Yeah, bring Jason with me. Are you guys into this whole 50th anniversary of hip hop thing over where you are?
Yeah. It's again, we're on an island, and so everything is done not on a grand scale as opposed to you guys, obviously, because you have more people. But yeah, I mean, even the DJ community here celebrated the 50 years of hip hop, in our own way. But yeah, very much celebrated. Absolutely, yeah. Hip hop is life.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, man.
A lot of DJ Tony Crush is one of these people who started
Tony
this
Crush
thing long ago.
Salute to you, sir.
I know they did an event over the weekend, and I'm gonna hit them up and see how it went. But man, oh man, so I appreciate
that was quick, man.
you.
This interview was quick. This was my fast.
It went by so fast.
Yeah.
Wait, Jason is saying
Be forced to tough it out on Hawaii. Yeah, Jason, man, life is hard here, dog. Life is
yeah.
hard, man. Is there's beaches here, man. The women are fine. The food is dope.
Yeah, the food. And we're
Yeah,
foodies too, so
yeah,
all of
nice,
us.
man.
So
Cold Crush Brothers. Oh, snap. Let's go.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, DJ Tony Crush, the Cold Crush Brothers.
Jeez.
Yes. I know they had that event. Tony, I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah, when you come back, bro, let's schedule something where, because you got to come over to our place, right? I mean, I got the gear set up. We'll do a stream. We'll just collaborate and we'll just vibe and just play, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Invite some people over. I have a gazebo right outside. I got the barbecue grill right outside. Now, let's just hang out, man. Let's just chill.
I don't even need
Right?
a hotel, just a cot, and I
Just
could
hot,
sleep right
man.
out there. Hopefully, nothing come
Right.
and grab me.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, let's of course let's talk about it. Whoever you and your peeps come down, I've got some connection with some hotels and stuff. Let me know. Let me know.
Oh, dope! Yes,
And we'll make it happen for you guys. Yeah.
definitely. Tony Crush said we need a room there.
Tony, I got you, sir. You
He
come
just
over,
said
man.
that.
You
He
come over,
just
OG.
said it. Oh man, yo. So
Tony, Jason, pull up, man. Yeah.
how could people get in contact with you?
You can find me I'm on all the social medias, Facebook and Instagram. I'm on TikTok too as well. Mostly under Don Faumuina. Only my Twitch handle is the only one that has DJ Don Faumuina on top. Other than that, yeah, just the link where the info that you have.
Yep.
Which is cool. Yeah, let's connect.
Which is,
Let's connect.
yes, sir. So
Let's
we're
connect.
gonna get this all states and Hawaii connection going on. But
Yes, sir.
Don, thank you so
Yeah.
much for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Jason, yes, let's do it.
Matter
Oos.
of fact, I'm gonna leave you up here while I end this thing. This is Harry the Big Dog. This is the DJ interview. We have special guests all the time. DJ Don, Hawaii. You ever in that area? Look for him. Not in the wrong way. Don't get pulled over by him, but
Look for me or I'll look for you.
or he'll look for you. We are
Either way,
here
we're
on-
gonna get found.
we we are here on Tuesdays, 8-ish Eastern time. We are gone. Thank you, everyone.